Jefferson County Court at Law Number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 23 CCCR 1974. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Michael Jenkins. Mr. Jenkins, is that your full name?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Jenkins, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Jenkins, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Jenkins, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Jenkins?
Just fine.
That's good. Now, Mr. Jenkins, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Todd LeBlanc. Attorney LeBlanc, you waive a record in Mr. Jenkins' case?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Jenkins, I have before me a document that is titled Joint Request for Plea and/or Sentencing by Video Conference under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.18. That allows Mr. LeBlanc to appear via Zoom. Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, it is.
Now, before you sign this document, did Mr. LeBlanc go over this document with you?
Yes, it is.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, it is.
And is everything in this document true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it's better.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jenkins, I also have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information sheet, it alleges that you, Michael Jenkins, on or about July 28th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. Mr. Jenkins, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, I do.
And to discharge Mr. Jenkins, how do you plead guilt? Oh. Could you send the Mr. Jenkins case back to me on the tablet? It should be on the, she has a tablet there, like this here. Hold on a minute.
No.
Okay. Okay, court is back in session and calls number 23CCCR 1974. Case is Tyler, State of Texas versus Michael Jenkins. Now, Mr. Jenkins briefly pled guilty to the Class A misdemeanor offense of burglary of a vehicle. I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. And Mr. Jenkins, I'm gonna show you a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this document, there's a set of initials on a line or signature on a line that's titled, that's with a box check guilty. Did you sign this document?
Yes.
On page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that's titled defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes.
On the next document that is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature?
Yes.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yeah.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yeah.
Mr. Jenkins, before you sign and initial these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, go over these documents with you?
Yeah.
And did you understand everything that Mr. LeBlanc went over?
Yeah.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yeah.
to the best of your knowledge?
That's my number.
Mr. Jenkins, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, I am.
Any objections, Mr. LeBlanc? The state woman? No objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Mr. LeBlanc, you have advised and counseled Mr. Jenkins. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
Not at this point, Your Honor. No.
Well, Mr. Jenkins, your attorney, Mr. LeBlanc, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, yes, I am.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your
What is that agreement?
For pleading guilty or no contest, the state is offering 40 days jail with credit for 60 days.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins, the state is offering that you serve 40 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will be given credit for the 16 days that you have already spent in jail. The court cost in this case is $277. Mr. Jenkins, are you able to pay the $277 today?
No, at this time.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Ms. Bailey, would you please hand that document to Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Jenkins, that document is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Do you recognize that document?
At this time, I don't.
Okay, on page 2 of that document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defender Signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
Now, going back to page 1 on that document, it talks about your financial information. Is that still true and correct today? It's zeros.
Yes,
Okay. Now, Mr. Jenkins, the court is going to find that you're indigent. Based on the finding of indigency, the court costs in this case will be waived. That means you will not have to pay the $277. Do you understand that?
thank you.
Mr. Jenkins, do you understand the state's offer? The 40 days credit for 16 days, and then the court cost of $277 is being waived. Do you understand?
Yes,
And do you accept it?
yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. Jenkins, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Jenkins, please stand next to the court bailiff and follow her direction. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to follow the bailiff and you have a blessed day. And this will conclude the calling of the cases that we have with Mr. LeBlanc. Mr. LeBlanc, you're excused and you have a blessed day.
Judge, if there's a way that I could talk to Mr. Pham, I might be able to get that. Because he understood
Okay.
when I spoke to him the other night,